I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it. Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Preto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Preto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnese Islands, then this, Revachol. Those are the two constants, Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Inter-Islary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
In Martinez, looking into Krenon, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial. Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Nice aggression with the native. Don't let the chief fool you next time. You don't need to be that up.
Not bad advice, actually.
Let's talk about our right to work. No, I'm not a fighter. I'm a worker. Hell no. I'm just an honest...
It just has to be said. That was not a convincing line.
Fucking bug.
I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time.
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly.
Don't think so.
Wordless, he takes the photo and looks at it. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface. Hard as a stone, you see dead flesh in colorful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in. Yeah. What it means. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here? Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benital, 41. Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission.
Benital is one of the inhabited islands of the Seminese archipelago, near the Pale. Covered in jungle, it was anchor point for the Seminese nationalists in the proxy war held on the islanders' territory.
He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kept villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Our boy, he's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. At dawn, he comes upon two kids, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding. Maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nice. A little fat, you know, but not too old. She was quite the entertainment. For the week she lasted, expired in the hands of Sarge Mason. The kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God. Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them. Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
Something stirs in your stomach. The story must have stirred up some conflicting emotions. The man looks tired for a second.
No. I was in the domain. In Jamrock. Being a bouncer. Fucking mask is getting sweaty. I want to take my mask off.
He's under orders. And orders are orders.
Go ahead. All right now. Free commerce! Keep the goods flowing!
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, littering his dead skin.
We were promised work.
The physically impressive man-tower has turned his attention back to the gate.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go. I am...
You pick up on something artificial.
Fine.
Interesting.
I guess getting past the man ain't that simple after all.
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. This door, still, the lieutenant, he doesn't like where this is going. The door is closed. This door, still, the lieutenant, he doesn't like. The window stands broke, the morning light. The bed is still cold. The fan stands still. The switch must be broken. The lights are off again. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. A tarpaulin cloak is still caught on the railing. No one has claimed it for their own.
Fuck does Kuno care? Here, pig. We're falling now. Performance buddies. Kuno could already see you soaring through the air like a fucking eagle. Pig's in Kuno's debt now.
Money debt doesn't mean anything. He's just saying words. You're not in his debt.
Kuno Kuno care? Kuno...
Waves are beginning to die down.
Why does she care about the waves so much?
What is it with waves and fishermen? We need to be out there, but until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can. Oh? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
You think she really needs more of that after a man died at sea? What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober? Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
I have, and I don't really.
You just want to go for a walk. What kind of a monster doesn't want to go for a walk? Walks are innocent.
Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator. Where would this walk take us, officer?
Nothing creepy, strange, or out there. Keep it eerie and simple.
Officer, I thought we had a walk of our own in mind. One that results in a solved murder investigation.
Oh no. You, come with us. Seriously, I insist. You need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking. That's it.
Having the lieutenant along is a fail-safe measure against any possible funny business.
Let's call it a walk. I'll join you if the man insists.
I do, yes. Stroll on the beach sounds nice, doesn't it? All right, I'll see the kids haven't killed each other and we'll meet at Land's End in 15 minutes?
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready. Old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. A familiar apparatus. The reeds sweat. The wind picks up. This trap is also full of panicked locals.
Another empty trap. Always up for a good job. Otherwise, would I still be on this case with you?
The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes, and only then spots you approaching.
Aye, so here you are. I'm a bit surprised we're alone. It's mid-noon and the sun is out. I expected more drunks and teenagers. And drunk teenagers. Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
Her thoughts are still elsewhere, with distances across the water, and with the water itself. Across the rusty water, that's La Delta, the financial district. In the mist-covered distance, towers rise as a rebuke to the poverty of this coast.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments. The world? Those big words men like to throw around as though they had weight. Let's just admire this piece of the world we happen to have in front of us, eh?
As she turns to face the sun, reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay, you cannot help following her steady gaze. You should say something. Anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death. So, are you going to keep the name? Well then, Officer Dubois.
The sun reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay is mesmerizing. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile-looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else. The sun isn't always that great. Think of people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water. There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas, grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organisation or government. How can that be? I guess we wouldn't really be here if that thing wasn't on our team. These aren't real fishhooks, silly. They're earrings shaped to look like fishhooks. A drunk called Rose...
She's right. They're made mostly of plastic. The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the sunlit coast across the water.
Thank you. I'm half Ubi. My mother was from Ubi Sunt. Not a lot of sun there, I hear, though I've never been.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the sunlit coast across the water.
I always do. I like it. It's like being on another planet, a water planet, with water worries and water joys.
The lieutenant makes a show of glancing at his watch and tapping his foot.
Good one.
She thinks it was a riddle. She must not even know of that business.
The
wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the sunlit coast across the water. Say what? Something interesting? Impossible. She turns her head and the plastic fishhooks relax. This was still good.
Thank you. Out there on the other planet, the sea, you start seeing things in a strange light. I'm glad I got to share it. You know, the wind's going to pick up soon, and I have to go, but... Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. I've no use for it anymore. No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me.
The lieutenant looks at the sword with distrust in his eyes. Do not bring it into a gunfight, he thinks. Please understand, it's merely ceremonial.
Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Farewell.
Yes?
See, you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Still running around. Like some kind of cross-country law official. Aye. But don't let it grow too much. This is not the place to settle down. Now.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinaise? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right?
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks. Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird.
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal... Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinaise, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance.
Indeed.
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinaise proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinaise was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
Wait, is he saying that we should just bypass the excesses of the revolution?
Tape computers. They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious was the Mars Decree. I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the new...
A short-lived legislation.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book. Already forgetting about this part.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were...
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined.
Wait, did he just say Wompty Dumpty Doms? He did it. He said Wompty Dumpty Dom Center. What the hell is a Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Joost?
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort, but perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write direct...
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionary setting fire to the precious device. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources reported it. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important.
He's not gonna give you money. No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialists. If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just
Forget it. They don't sell those kind of books at crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Sure, what's on your mind? But of course, sure, what's on your mind? But of course, no, thanks to you for having me and little Mikaela here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was... This is the trap Morel just set. The reeds by the abandoned. It's good the cryptozoologists left. The later it gets, the colder. Nothing but locusts in this trap as well.
Empty as all of them. One more of these and we're done. No, I'm fine. I didn't mean to complain, it's just...
It takes you a moment, but behind you, the trap fit no locust. No phasmid either, but still, your voice echoes on the coast.
Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though. Unless you see one in...
The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground.
Perhaps our cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist, or someone else is sabotaging them. I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not. We did sort of promise to tell them, didn't we?
Motorway south. The lone vector stretches in your mind's eye into the wild pale yonder, for an unimaginable distance, forgetting, until you can no longer remember anything. No cities.
Boy, am I ever so grateful to you, officer. But I'm not the only one who wants...
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you. Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie. Mesk in origin. The pin is an antique...
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of... You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has, but I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
Hell no. I had no idea, and I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got...
Thanks.
He's still glad his friend stood up for him.
Good. Okay. And? Completely empty?
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct.
Of course, more clever.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behove you to tread lightly.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture. Mine's Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude
Heartfelt gratitude. But does some kind of foul play might...
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here.
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently. Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
A little hooligan. But what would a child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
Delinquents, my favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play Suzerainty.
After this is your last chance to talk.
Really, Gary?
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants are... Morel, it's been fun. Really. But I need a bath, and I have...
No need to apologise, Geary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of Suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
The first man to break formation is always a blow to leadership. This is bigger than he lets on.
Always a pleasure to see officers. I told you.
'Tis true, sire. This man simply... This man is truly sorry for underestimating the honor and military...
What do you see?
Fuck, does Kuno care? No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about bugs.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison!
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment at Kuno's newfound lameness.
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
Kuno doesn't...
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well. Oh, I'm not being sarcastic at all. We are making real progress.
When someone says they're not being sarcastic, it's usually a good sign that they're being very sarcastic.
If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. The Phasmid did not take the bait from the traps. It was Kuno, the Phasmid. But what do I know?
Use your powers of deduction. You knew the magic bug was nowhere near here. The Phasmid is impairing your judgment.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things.
Kuno care? Yeah. Kuno took the bugs, so...
So it wasn't the Phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
Yeah, well, Kuno's all you got, bitch. They're not pets. Don't you know what locusts are? When they come out of the...
Stop!
You stop. It's like they're fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastic... The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is. Please just don't say you're...
An artist? Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Kuno made Kuno. Kuno says whatever the fuck he wants. There are no... I fucking say I when I wanna. And Kuno when I wanna. Kuno's free. Kuno's free to fucking die.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds!
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window. So that's what this is about.
I don't believe you.
For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. Use this momentary confusion to take control of the situation. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. See?
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame. Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die. The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
He recognizes the name.
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.